Hello prospective traders, welcome to my channel. Now this video is a bonus video of the trade I took on Wednesday 13th of November 2019, and the trade started off with the buyers taking over the market for about 4 hours, and then the sellers stepped in and they brought down the market right from its resistant high, which is right from this mark, and right from the top here they moved down the market all the way down to this point, and now it's pulling back. And I entered a couple of trades, one with a 5-lot trade, and the other was a limit order. So the first trade, which was the 5-lot trade, got taken out by this retracement, and this retracement happened at about 9 o'clock my time, New York time. At about 8 o'clock New York time. And this is something I've observed during the Asian market. They tend to move the market down once the market opens, and the following hour they kind of like create a retracement or a pullback, which is what we are seeing in this candle right now. So it moved up over 50% right from its I'm not considering the wick, I'm considering the body of the candle. It moved about, I would say, 50%, and then it dropped, and now it's just struggling. That is, the buyers are trying to push the market up from the 1-hour chart that we're looking at, and on the 1-minute chart you can see what's really going on with the market. So it came all the way down here and it pulled back a bit, and now it's trying to push back up. And this is the other account which I have. So it came all the way down and it pushed up, and you can see my 3 limit orders have been taken in, and they are now in profits. So now the market is pushing down. So the sellers have they are now pushing down the market, but it's still a struggle between the buyers and the sellers. If you take a look at the candle, the strength of the candles, the sellers and the buyers, you can see that even though we have more buyers, looking at the 1-minute chart, we have more buyers, which are the white candles. The black ones on this chart, you can see how strong they are. They don't want the market to go pretty much very far from where it is right now. So you can see I'm placing my stop orders, and the market is still pushing down. The sellers are still pushing down the market. And this is my currency strength indicator. You can see the yellow is pointing up, which is the Japanese yen, and the white is the New Zealand dollar. You can see it's pointing down. That's why the market is falling, because people are selling the New Zealand and buying the Japanese yen. But the buyers are still trying to come in. You can see with the strong candle, they're pushing the market up. And you can see the strength currency indicator. You can see the white line is now pushing up and the yellow line is now pushing down. That's why it's it's moving up this way. So I basically use the currency strength indicator to help me see who is in control of the market. Is it the buyers or the sellers? So this is a vital part of my my trading, using the currency strength indicator. So the buyers are pushing the market up. They are pushing the market up. Now it has gone beyond 50% of the seller's candle. Now if you compare this candle, this one here and this 1 minute chart, and this other ones, you can see how little they are. Now when you see situations like this, you should know that the buyers are getting tired and the sellers are stepping in, and they are trying to push the market back down. So we keep monitoring the candles and see how they are forming to know who is stronger and who is becoming weaker. And my currency strength indicator is still telling me that it's still been a struggle between the buyers and the sellers, but the sellers are taking over right now. As you can see, the yellow line is pointing up, which indicates that the New Zealand dollar is being sold and the Japanese yen people are buying the Japanese yen. So the buyers are still not giving up. They are still coming in, but it's not going above this level. This using the 1 minute chart, it's not going above this resistance level. So let's see if the buyers will step in again and push it above this resistance level using this 1 minute chart. If the buyers can push it up and break this resistance level in this 1 minute chart, it will go a little bit further. But from what I see here, I see that the sellers are coming into the market and they are trying to push the market back down. So now it's been a struggle. It's becoming a struggle between the buyers and the sellers. And with my strength indicator, is showing that the Japanese yen is now pointing down and the New Zealand dollar is now pointing up, and the buyers are still trying to push the market up. They are still trying to push the market up, and the sellers are stepping back in. The sellers are coming back in, and my currency strength indicator is telling me that the sellers are coming back in, and the buyers, that is the New Zealand dollar, is becoming weak, and the sellers are not giving up, and they're still trying to push the market back down. So it's like a struggle between the buyers and the sellers right at this level, right at this area. So let's see who is going to win. Is it going to be the sellers or is it going to be the buyers? For the sellers, now the buyers are breaking this level, but the sellers pushed it again back down. Now all this is happening at about 8 p.m. New York time. So this is 5 p.m. Using this 1 minute chart. The white line is when the market started, so that is 5 p.m., 6 p.m., 7 p.m., and this is 8 p.m. So the market loves to do this at about 8 p.m. Usually there's a a retracement if there had been a very huge pullback, fall or rise of the markets. There's always a retracement. Like in this case, there was a huge sell-off down to the 69.750 570 level, and then the market went up, and at 8 p.m. the buyer stepped in, and they are pushing the market back up as a form of retracement. And the main point, or when you should get into the market, you should wait after this retracement. Wait after the retracement, and then when the next candle is forming, you give it about a minute or two, at most 5 minutes, to know if it's still going to be the buyers who are going to still keep pushing the market, or the sellers will step in and they will push the market back down. So it's getting close to the time when the next candle will form. So we're still waiting. So the buyers broke this level using the 1 minute chart, and the sellers are still trying to push the market back down. So we keep monitoring this at the hour, and we can see the sellers are pushing it back down, and they're pushing it back down. And you can see the strength currency indicator. Currency is indicating that the sellers are becoming strong and the buyers are becoming weak. And then this was 9 o'clock. The red candle just appeared. You can see the huge candle that just happened right now when it was at the top of the hour. So now the sellers stepped in full force, and now they are pushing the market down. And you can see the strength currency indicator is indicating that it's now the sellers market. People are selling the New Zealand dollar, and that's why the market is dropping right now. So the sellers are pushing it down. You can see how healthy this candle is using the 1 minute chart, and you can see they're still pushing it down, and they're still pushing it, and they're pushing it. Now they've gotten to this this level, the low of the day. So the market is trying to retrace a little bit. So I'm closing some of my trades. So the market took me out at the 8 o'clock hour. It took me out of this trade, and then at 9 o'clock the seller stepped in and they pushed the market down. So the market is retracing at the low of the day. At this point, when the market resumed its move down, so it's retracing. It always does this. How the buyers are trying to push the market up. Now it is either people are taking profit out of the market, or those people who were at this level, who were selling, they are now getting out of the market. So when you were selling previously, once you get out of the market, you become a buyer. So that's why this is these are the two reasons why it's retracing. So I just closed my final trade, and at the end of the trade I made over $700. Okay, so this is the concluding part of the video from yesterday. If you can remember, I had a trade that I got taken out at the 8 o'clock hour, and that was this candle, this green one. And at the 9 o'clock hour, the sellers stepped in and they took down the market. So I re-entered this trade for a swing trade at about this area, and I held the trade overnight, and I just got taken out by with my take profit level. So I got taken out at about this area, and I made this amount, and this covered my loss, and together with the loss and the entire trade for this account, I came out with a profit of this amount. So this was like a swing trade that I took from yesterday, and it got closed this morning.